On the night of February 24th, 1978, 5 men from Yuba City, California, Bill Sterling, Jack Madruga, Ted Weiher, Jack Huett, and Gary Mathias, set off on a road trip to attend a basketball game at California State University, Chico. The group, all in their 20s and 30s, were known to have mild intellectual disabilities or mental health challenges. They never returned home. A few days later, their car was found abandoned in the Plumas National Forest, 70 miles off their route, on a remote, snow-covered mountain road. The car was in working condition, with enough gas to continue driving. Yet it appeared to have been deliberately stopped. No damage, no sign of mechanical failure. Strangely, candy wrappers were found in the vehicle, but none of the men. Footprints in the snow led away from the car, suggesting the group had left on foot. It made no sense. Why would 5 men, unfamiliar with the terrain and dressed in light clothing, abandon a functional car in freezing conditions? Months later, in June 1978, after the snow had melted, searchers made a grim discovery. The body of Ted Weiher was found in a U.S. Forest Service trailer 20 miles from the abandoned car. He had starved to death, wrapped in sheets, lying on a bed inside the trailer. Shockingly, food supplies, enough to last weeks, remained untouched in the storage room. There was fuel and matches, yet the trailer's heating system was never activated. It appeared he had survived for up to 13 weeks after the disappearance. Nearby, the remains of Bill Sterling and Jack Madruga were discovered in the woods, miles from the trailer, likely succumbing to hypothermia. Jack Huett's body was found even further from the car, but Gary Mathias, diagnosed with schizophrenia and the only one in the group with Army experience, was never found. His shoes were in the trailer, suggesting he may have left in Weiher's sturdier footwear, possibly to seek help, but his fate remains a mystery. The case baffled authorities. Why had the men driven so far out of their way? What led them to abandon the car and hike into the wilderness with no supplies? And how did at least one survive for months surrounded by accessible food and heat, but ultimately die from starvation? Despite exhaustive investigation, no definitive answers emerged. Foul play wasn't ruled out, but there were no clear signs of violence. It was as if the group had simply wandered into oblivion. One chilling theory emerged from a witness who claimed to have seen the men the night they vanished. He said he was stuck in the snow himself when he saw headlights behind him. A group of men and a woman with a baby were in the vehicle. When he called for help, they turned off their lights and silently disappeared into the night. The man later suffered a heart attack and couldn't move. But the vision haunted him. Was it a hallucination or a glimpse of something sinister? Another theory centers on Gary Mathias. Unlike the others, Mathias had a history of mental health episodes, though he was reportedly stable at the time. Some believe he may have had an episode leading the others astray. But if so, how did they survive together for weeks in the woods, only for one to die in a trailer stocked with food and heat? The deeper investigators looked, the stranger the case became. Nothing seemed to fit. Today, the Yuba County 5 case remains one of the most eerie and enigmatic disappearances in U.S. history. With no known suspects, no motive, and one man still missing after nearly 5 decades, the story endures as a surreal wilderness mystery. Their car was found, their footprints traced, their bones recovered. And still, no one knows what compelled 5 men to walk willingly into the cold California mountains, never to return.